Lighting the stove. With the stove pumped and placed in a safe level location, you are ready to light it. Open the fuel valve here lefty-loosey or counterclockwise slowly while watching the fuel enter the small bottle cap at the bottom of the stove. You should fill it up about halfway and then close off the fuel line. This is done because the fuel in the tank needs to be turned into a gas. As you can see, the fuel line wraps around and stays very close to the flame. When this is lighted, the fuel line will be heated up enough so that the fuel in the gas tank will turn into a gas instead of staying as a liquid. Next, light the fuel from the upwind side of the fuel dish location, never from the top, as once ignited, the fuel can make a basketball-sized fireball. Watch and wait for the fuel in the dish to be used up. As the fuel is nearly consumed, it will start to boil and look like 7-Up soda with tiny bubbles. Open the fuel valve just before all the fuel in the dish is exhausted. The new fuel being added should burn a nice ring of blue flames in the main burner. The fireball should go out shortly as the last of the original fuel is consumed. The main stove valve should be turned fully on righty-tighty. Never force the valve past its normal stopping point. The Whisperlite is known as a one-setting stove, full on. It may seem like you could turn the valve down a bit, but the stove tends to go out as pressure lowers or the wind can blow it out. This can be dangerous as the stove will continue to pump raw fuel everywhere until it explodes, or you notice the fuel spilling out. The stove makes a particular sound. If the sound changes, you should investigate it immediately. As you can see here, the fuel is starting to bubble. So right before the fireball will soon get out of place. Now you see the fireball is gone and now there are only blue flames. Occasionally, you can get a big fireball when lighting the stove, as you will soon see. It is caused by either too much fuel left in the bottle cap, or, something more likely, is that the wind blew the flames away from the fuel line loop in the burner so the gas stays liquid. If the lighting is not successful, you can always turn the gas off and let the stove cool by waiting at least 5 minutes and then trying to light the stove again. Turn on the stove. As you can see, this is a fireball. The fireball should again burn out once the last of that fuel down at the bottom of the dish is burnt out. Make sure that the fuel can is never heated, as that could cause a major problem for your stove. You can place the large foil around the burner on a windy day during the lighting process to prevent the wind from blowing the flame all around like this, and not focused on the fuel loop through the burner. After you've finished lighting the stove, you should position the large foil around the burner. Bend the last 1/4 inches on both sides of this foil 180 degrees and interlock them both to make it a tight circle. The notch in the foil goes down here to let the fuel tube pass from the stove to the bottle. Rotate the foil to maximize the protection from heat getting from the stove to the tank through this foil notch. Safety during use. Take care to position the legs and the fuel bottle to be on a firm, stable surface.
Be very careful of the slots between boards on the picnic table. If a stove leg falls into a table slot, for example, the big pot of boiling water you're cooking could tumble, splashing the boiling water on people nearby. You should always assume the pot on a stove is going to fall off at any moment, but always take precautions to prevent this. Therefore, it is foolish for anyone to be sitting on the picnic bench next to a backpacking stove. First aid for burns from boiling water is to remove clothing ASAP and cover burned areas in cool water and or wet towels. Seek medical help in severe cases.